everybody. Mary Elizabeth Jackson, author and advocate and ambassador advocate for Autism Tennessee. I am here at Talk to Me Therapy today with Angie Ellenbecker, doing her thing on the floor with your son Ben. And this is Cece, and we are here talking about kind of your journey and the importance of a mom listening to her instincts, because your story and my story are sort of similar that way, knowing that because being a mom of the child, we know when there's something that's not right, when there's something just kind of off, but we're not really sure. And so you follow your instincts even when the doctors, is it not? Okay, is it? So you followed your instincts.
I did,
Yes.
and I went to a different pediatrician after the first one, dismissed my concerns, and she still was semi-dismissive, but she still put in for an evaluation because she said, if you feel it, she goes, we can evaluate it. And that's what I tell everyone who asks me, that when in doubt, evaluate it, because it doesn't hurt.
Right.
I said that's the best thing you can do because, worst case, they say he does need help, he or she needs help, and we can set up services. Or best case, you know what?
We checked it out.
Everything's fine.
Right.
And it's better to have an answer one way or another. But if your gut is telling you that your child might need help, push for that evaluation.
Right. There's no harm.
There's
and
no
if
harm.
your pediatrician won't listen, then you need to find another one. You need to ask other moms, or even call an advocacy service, because they tend to have resources on their website, or if you call them, disability services do, and they can put you in touch with a pediatrician who will listen to your concerns. And that's so important, because if you can get with a child early enough, then the intervention services can absolutely correct, help, fix, strengthen most of what a child has going on. It can't fix everything, but it can fix a lot of things, especially if you do it before the age of 8 and 9. There is a good chance to overcome lots of deficits and weaknesses in children.
Because studies show now earlier intervention is the key to so many issues kids can have. The sooner you get them help, the better their progression in school and stuff will be, the easier times they can have. So Ben's been in preschool. He's in his second year at the developmental preschool program, which has been an amazing program for him. And he'll do another year. We're going to delay kindergarten a year for him to do an additional year. And everybody, his pediatrician, Angie, his teachers, his ENT, everybody agrees that that's the best course of action for Benjamin is to delay kindergarten a year.
And I think another thing that's important is if you can get services in the school and then sometimes outside services, that totally it keeps reinforcing everything you're doing. And as a parent, we have to work at home with our kids. We need to take the things that our therapists show us that work with our child, and we need to do it at home. And you have to get the whole family involved.
I tell everybody is they have to help hold Benjamin accountable for his speech. There's so many words that he knows, but when he's not in therapy, he wants to get lazy about them. But I make him repeat the word, we break it down. Even the nursery workers at church, I ask them to help hold him accountable for his speech. I said he's got his words, but he'll be shy. But he can use them, and so they've been great with him. Everybody around him really is supportive of him.
And that makes your job and my job and the therapist's job and the doctor's job so much easier when everybody is kind of like a team that you have to have for your child. And I will tell you from my own experience, having to go through everything, go through services and early intervention, it is a night and day difference for a child. So I'm 100% advocate and believer in services for kids. If your child needs it, get it. Don't worry about a label. Labels are not important. No, your child's health and well-being is the most important. So thank you for letting us talk today.
Anytime. I'm happy to share my story, because if my experience can help anybody else, please, listen to what I said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Advocate for your kids. That's always my most important thing, is advocate and check it out. It doesn't hurt to have an evaluation. Ever, ever, ever.
Right. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cece Callender. I'm the mother of Benjamin, who's 4 years old, and we've been at speech therapy with Miss Angie now for almost 2 years, getting close to 2 years. I first noticed he needed speech therapy when he was 18 months old. I was really concerned because he was very, very quiet, was only saying mama. I asked my pediatrician, I was 18-month-old checkup, if I should be concerned or what the issue was. And our pediatrician at the time really dismissed my concerns. He goes, oh, he's a second child. You know, they catch up later. Big sister's probably talking for him. And I'm like, okay. And I still didn't feel that was the right answer. And because of other issues I had at that pediatric office, we went to a new practice for his 2-year appointment, and I expressed my concerns again because he was really only saying mama, maybe dada, or kitty, and 3 words at 2 years is not enough words. And so this new pediatrician, she still wasn't as concerned, but she did refer us for speech therapy, and this was all in Washington State at the time. And so they did an evaluation at the time, and they gave him a diagnosis of expressive speech delay. And so we started speech therapy in Washington, and he had about, I want to say 6 sessions, because they did 1 hour once a week, which really, looking back, was not the right format for him. It was too long of a session and not frequent enough. But because of other situations in our life, we ended up leaving Washington and we moved to Tennessee. And so there's about a 4 or 5 month gap in services while we got moved here and set up with a new pediatrician. And I went to this new pediatrician on the recommendation of some neighbors I met. And I barely got the words out of my mouth that I was still concerned about his speech. And she was on her computer. She goes, I'm putting in your referral for Tennessee Early Intervention. And she was wonderful. She did not dismiss my concerns at all. She goes, anytime there's a question, she goes, having an evaluation never hurts. So she told me that they will come to the house, they will evaluate Benjamin, and based on their evaluation findings, she goes, they'll set you up with speech therapy or any other therapies that he needs. And she says, because it's through Tennessee Early Intervention, there's no cost to you, which is great. You know, they do bill your insurance for what they can. And so we got matched up with Miss Angie at the therapy center at the time, and it started, and we lucked out with our social worker with T's as well, because early intervention cuts off at 3 years old, and Ben was 2.5 when he started, so she knew the clock was ticking fast for Benjamin. And so she started the paperwork and got us the ball rolling for us to transfer to the school district program as soon as he turned 3. And that was great because at 3 years old we had another evaluation, and he very much qualified for the developmental preschool program at our elementary school. And he goes 4 days a week for half a day, and he gets speech therapy at school as well twice a week for 2 30-minute sessions. And he's in his 2nd year now, and we will do an additional year because of his birthday being August 4th. He does meet the cutoff, but only by days. And developmentally and maturity-wise, everyone agrees holding Benjamin back a year and doing an extra year pre-K before kindergarten will be very beneficial to him.
So all in all, it's been a really good.
We've had a really good road. We've had a really good experience. We've had especially once we moved to Tennessee, we've had the providers and the encouragement that we didn't have back in our former state in Washington. And it's been the services we've received here, the encouragement, and not being dismissed was a world of difference to me. And that's what my advice to other mothers is: don't let your pediatricians dismiss your concerns, because having an evaluation, there's no harm in having an evaluation done, especially for something like speech. The sooner you can start with therapy, the better it is for your child. So
Thank you for joining us.